Hello, my name is Jim. Welcome to my booktube channel, books and reading and stuff. It is Tuesday, and for once in my booktube career, I'm going to put out a tag on a designated day. I have a good tag for you. It wasn't created by me. It wasn't even created by a booktuber. It was created by a publisher, Penguin RandomHouse, who I think knows something about books. I believe it was brought to booktube by Emma's Books 6 years ago. I like this tag. I saw the prompts and thought these are great. It's the I am to read it. Books are curious objects. They have the power to trap, transport, or even transform you if you are lucky. Now, without further ado, the prompts. Prompt number 1. Choose one word that describes you being a reader. Now, Kelly from Books I'm Not Reading and Brian from Bookish chose curious, which is a good choice. Emma chose enlightened. I would choose adventurous. For me, a book is like a portal into another world, into maybe another time, into a different country, into a different culture, and I like these adventures. Most of what I read is fiction, and I love exploring other worlds. So for me, the word would be adventurous. Prompt number 2. What was the very first book you fell in love with? As a child, my first books were the Dr. Seuss books and the Ladybird books, and I really loved the Ladybird book of motor cars. I would sit by my window watching the road, ticking off the cars in the book as I saw them. I'm told the first words I knew were some of the first words I knew were the makes of cars. I very soon moved on from Daddy's car, Uncle Brian's car, to Ford Anglia, Vauxhall Viva, thanks to my Ladybird book of motor cars. Strangely, I haven't owned a car in the last 12 years. Prompt number 3. I want to extend this prompt. The original prompt was hardcover or paperback. I'd like to extend this to hardcover, paperback, ebook or audiobook. Before the pandemic, before I was a booktuber, paperback was my favourite format. It was light, it was easy to carry around, and the books were relatively cheap. Here I'm still away, I'm in Pasanari. I only brought 4 physical books, physical paperbacks with me. Most of what I've been reading has been on ebook. If you've seen my 1-minute reviews, most of those were reviews of ebooks I've read since I've been away. Also, last year I joined NetGalley and Book Sirens, these internet sites where you can get e-arcs. These are advanced reader copies in electronic format, and so for these I'm reading them either on my phone or on my tablet. Prompt number 4. How has reading shaped your identity? I could read before I went to school, which gave me an academic start on many of my peers. My siblings weren't really readers, and I was the only one of them to go to university. I think reading also inspired my interest in countries and other cultures, and I've travelled to most of the countries of Europe, and I've lived and worked in England, Wales, Australia, France, and now for the last 13 years here in Georgia. If I weren't a reader, I think I'd still be in dear old Blighty. Prompt number 5. What book do you read when you need to be comforted? I don't have a book, but historical fiction and police procedurals are my comfort zone genres. When I chose my first book to read from NetGalley, I chose a police procedural, In Dark Water by Lynn McEwan. I hadn't read anything by her before, but I didn't want to start with a DNF, and I wasn't disappointed. For me, this was a 5-star read. I think I like police procedurals because my parents used to watch police dramas on the TV like Taggart and Inspector Morse when I was growing up. Prompt number 6. Who taught you to be a reader? I think credit goes to my mother and to Dr. Seuss. My mother stopped work when I was born, and for the first 10 years of my life she was a stay-at-home mother. She taught me to read, and she introduced me to the Dr. Seuss books like The Cat in the Hat, Are You My Mother, Green Eggs and Ham, and I learned to read with these books. There were also Peter and Jane books and Janet and John books, but I thought they were pretty lame and I preferred Dr. Seuss. It was a lot more fun. Prompt number 7. Describe your dream reading lounge. I wouldn't need much. A comfortable chair, adequate light, a computer so I can check things, with internet access of course, a kettle maybe for making tea, and some bookshelves with some books on, although a lot of the books I read, as I said, are ebooks. Prompt number 8, the final prompt. What book changed the way you see the world or the way you act? For this I would choose Why We Sleep by Matthew Walker, PhD. I think it's a book everyone should read. It's about the importance of sleep. Since reading it, my 8 hours sleep has been almost sacrosanct. I try to get to bed every night around midnight and I get up around 8, so I have 8 hours at least to sleep. No pulling all-nighters, no staying up late to read or surf the net or anything, and no getting up too early either. Finally, who do I tag? There's a few booktubers I'd like to tag for this. First, MJ at Reading This Life. She has a great channel. She supports a lot of small booktubers, and she recently tagged me for the perfect book tag. Book Time with Ryan, who knows a lot about whales and has about 34 books about whales. Sorry about the Moby Dick video. Margaret Pinard, the writer who wrote the Remnants trilogy. Matt Wall, Paperback Junkie. Michael K. Vaughan. I hope we've drawn a line under the Couch Changer Largo saga. Not Steve Donahue, not because he smells, but because I tagged him in my last tag video. Elisabeth at Bouquin Books. Erica at Passage of Time. And Jordan Parsons. I think all these booktubers will have interesting answers to these prompts. If I haven't tagged you and you want to do it, please feel free to do it. There's some wonderful prompts here. If you enjoyed this video, you can like and subscribe below, and I will see you on the next video. Goodbye.